Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Light back with another YouTube video, and in today's video we're gonna be doing let's talk about the DC extended universe, or the DC live action movie universe, or the Snyderverse, whatever you want to really call it. Honestly, I'm pretty sure it's 100% confirmed they call it DCEU. At least that's what I like to call it. I know a lot of people definitely might be calling it different names and stuff like that. I know there's people who still call it the Snyderverse, uh, but personally on this channel, I probably will say just DC's Extended Universe. Honestly, it doesn't matter what you really call this, as long as it's on the lines of DC. As long as it's on the lines of, yeah, it's involved in DC. Like, obviously, when we calling it the MCU or something like that, that just makes no sense, of course. So, like, something along the lines of DC, basically. Uh, yeah, anyways, in this video, I'm gonna be kind of like just talking about some things I think the DCEU does well, and things it doesn't do very well. And I highly doubt Warner Brothers would watch this video or anything like that. But I mean, maybe some suggestions of what I think could be some interesting stuff going forward for the DCEU. But anyways, let's get into it. First of all, I want to say my opinion quickly. Uh, in no way am I going to be like completely bashing the DCU, or am I like a biased fan or anything like that. I actually do like I do like DC Comics. I do personally like them. They're both the same. I mean, yes, me. I'm not gonna say it's a heavy base bias, but I mean, I definitely do like the MCU a lot more, obviously, and I have more nostalgia for that. But I mean, of course, like the DCU is a bit different and stuff like that. And I'm not gonna be really comparing the two in this video. I just mainly gonna be talking about the DCU. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Or neither am I like a biased like Zack Snyder fan or something like that. I'm not really. I'm kind of like neutral a little bit on that. I'll say more of my opinion afterwards. But I mean, yeah, that's one thing. But anyways, let's get into it. So yeah, the DCU. It's definitely a roller coaster. I must say, it's probably the biggest roller coaster in terms of movie franchise. I think it's like a lot of it. It goes up, it goes down, and then it goes up. It goes no, it was yeah, it goes up, down, down for a while, then up again, and then down for a little bit, and then up again. So that's just like a summary of like what I think of the DCU. It's definitely a huge roller coaster. It has its fair share of like terrible movies. I'm gonna say that right off the bat. It has technically not even its fair share. I would say like it more so has a lot of like not very good and well thought out movies, and it has its fair share of good movies as well. So I mean, in terms of like movie load, I see that they're kind of maybe getting a bit better in terms of the fact that I think they're getting better as time progresses. But I mean, some of those early movies just definitely were trash. I'm just gonna say that straight off the bat. In term, my opinion, if you want to see like my opinion on the DCU in sense of ranking, I recommend checking out. I'm pretty sure it'll be out before this. I do think I did a tier list as well. Uh, but I mean, there's that as well. If you really want to see my opinions on that, if you're curious about it. But I mean, if you know kind of that video, you know that I'm not a huge fan of like everything. I would say pre 2017. I would say uh, everything basically that came out before Wonder Woman. I didn't really like a whole lot. Uh, yeah, that's one thing as well. So let's talk about some stuff they do good. Now, first of all, I think for the most part, I mean the costumes are really well done. I must say they're probably the best out of most franchises. I must say they're very good comic accurate costumes for the most part. I do think it's really cool, as well as casting. I think they do. I think they do a pretty good job at casting. I mean, we got some good heavy hitters. I mean, Henry Cavill. I'm not too sure if he's done playing Superman or not. That's another thing as well. Uh, but again, I thought he was a good casting. I think Gal Gadot was good at casting. Margot Robbie, pretty good castings all around. So I did actually like the castings and stuff like that. And yeah, some of the movies, of course, are really good. I mean, this kind of ties into my suggestions, but I liked how they did it from like different directors' visions and stuff like that. And yeah, anyways, let's get into it. So first of all, let's just go talk about like critiques lists, like and bad kind of stuff. I'm gonna say stick to the more word of like critique instead of saying something is terrible or something like that. But I mean, this is just my opinion on it. So yeah. In terms of critique wise, again, those free 2017 movies are just personally, I'm gonna put it lightly, I didn't like them. Wasn't a huge fan of them at all, really. Most of the movies were kind of trash, with the exception of maybe Man of Steel. I mean, Man of Steel wasn't complete trash or anything like that. But all the other ones were basically. I wasn't a huge fan of Batman v Superman. I thought it was good for a little bit, and I was like, it's not too good. And I want to start off with the first kind of reason. Uh, I know I might definitely upset some people here, but Zack Snyder, he had too much influence over the movies. I'm gonna say that straight off the bat. I don't know if he was the very like the best person to be selected to basically be be the like whole head of everything for the DCU, because like if you've noticed in all, I'm pretty sure in all of these movies he basically produces. I think there's an exception of maybe a few of them. For most of them, it's like influenced by him basically. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I did like his the Justice League movie that he made. I thought it was pretty decent and pretty good. But I mean, like he had a little bit way too much influence. I feel like he tried too much to make it very dark and edgy. And I mean, DC Comics is dark and edgy, but at the same time, they do it in a good way where you like the character and they're not too dark. Now, I'm gonna say this straight off the bat. I am not a huge fan of the Batman in these movies. Same with like a lot of the character. I mean, definitely there's some stuff like in terms of characters I would change, but I mean, like the comic accuracy and all in all honesty, Zack Snyder seems like he wants to make it more edgy and dark and kind of take it away from the superhero genre basically. And that's honestly my opinion. I mean, me I would of course like to see maybe him make one or two more movies, but I mean, I wouldn't trust him to be making the whole universe. That's why I never refer to it as a Snyderverse. Of course, he made all those movies and stuff like that, but personally, I much rather prefer the DC extended universe instead of calling it that instead of the other one. Just because, again, like I kind of, in my personal opinion, I don't think he should have been running it. That's how you. That's kind of tying into something good, which they begin to kind of like diversify in terms of the characters we're getting. Now, if you notice, most of the movies that are pretty good are don't really involve some of these heavy hitters we usually see, such as Superman and Batman. If you notice, like for example, Wonder Woman, that was like the first time we were getting like a Wonder Woman thing. Well, technically not the first time. We of course got her in different things before this, but I mean, in terms of live action, there's only been Gal Gadot and the one from the 70s or 80s. I can't remember time period, but I remember there was one other one, Wonder Woman as well. So again, there's that thing as well, where it was just like, yeah, that's happening. So that was one thing as well, and same with like Aquaman and Shazam. Those are characters we never really see too much at all. Like not even in very much in animation form, or even in like live action, we didn't see too much of them. So that was interesting to kind of see that happen as well. I did actually like it. Same with like the Suicide Squad as well. That's another thing. And that kind of ties into another kind of suggestion, which actually I'll save for the more for the end of the video, kind of. But yeah, in terms of critiques, I'm gonna really kind of leave it off there. I mean, that was one of the things as well. Now for more suggestions. Now, my personal opinion, DC has some of the most cool characters I've probably ever seen in comics. Now, I think they should release more things with more different heroes, and not stick to the same Batman, Superman kind of thing, or or basically just keep making Wonder Woman movies, or keep making Aquaman movies if they continue. I want to see more Aquaman movies, but I mean, not giving us too much of the same thing in a sense. Now DC has a loads of characters, and that's one of the things that I think I like a lot about Marvel, is the fact that they use a lot of different characters in their movies. Whereas in DC, they kind of just stick to more Batman and Superman type thing. But I would love to see like different characters, such as maybe like, I know we're getting different movies. Like there's gonna be a Batgirl one. I think there's gonna be a Blue Beetle one as well. Of course, Black Adam, The Flash, and then we're getting a new Batman movie, which is totally fine. But I mean, in a sense, they gotta stick to more different characters and stuff like that. Like I would love to see maybe like perhaps a Green Lantern movie as well, which could definitely be interesting as well. So that's one thing as well that I would like to see in terms of critiques and stuff like that. And another one is, another suggestion would probably be, again, this ties into like adding more heroes and stuff like that. Another thing too is like maybe adding different directors and stuff, adding different visionaries, adding different visions and stuff like that. I definitely think that could be really interesting. Like I mean, Patty Jenkins and James Wan did wonderful jobs as like the directors and stuff like that. And I definitely think we should see more more of that kind of coming, new directors and stuff like that. We also know, of course, James Gunn. He's another cool kind of director and stuff like that. So I mean, that's another thing as well. I would like to see more, maybe more directors. Maybe they don't even have to be that like big or anything like that. They could just be getting kind of like maybe the first star or something, kind of taking a little step or whatnot. So yeah, that's one thing as well. But anyways, I mean, in terms of the universe wise, I think right now where it is right now, I'm gonna say 7.5, but I could tell if I do this same video next year, perhaps it could rise to an 8.5 or an 8. That could definitely happen. Maybe even a 9. I don't even know. But I mean, if you would ask me this last year and I did this video, maybe I would have put it as like a 6 out of 10 or something like that. But I mean, it's definitely improving better as time goes on. But anyways, that's pretty much it though. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.